Welcome to another episode of the Anyone But Cam Offseason podcast. I am one of your hosts. My name is Frankie, and sitting across the internet from me is Cam. Cam, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's Friday, and I don't have any classes Friday, so just been kind of hanging out. What about you?
Nice. I just was waking up doing homework stuff. We took last week off the podcast in part because it took me a long time to put together that money match that Alex didn't end up watching. So thanks, Alex, for that one. Appreciate it.
Shout out to Alex, everybody.
Yeah, but we are back and with another show, and let's just get right into it here. Our topic this week is that we're going to be filling out a hypothetical NFL team's coaching positions, front office, and other jobs of my choosing, using people in our friend group and fantasy league. There are 14 roles, I believe. 14 of us, and Cam and I each went and created our own teams, our own rosters separately, and we're gonna compare and debate it out, and justify our reasoning for some of these. Sound good to you, Cam?
Oh, it's gonna be interesting for sure.
Alrighty. This isn't a particularly ordered for this first half, but we're gonna start at the bottom of our list, and the bottom of our list starts off with special teams. Cam, who did you have as your special teams coach?
All right. Starting off with a bang, I had my special team coach be Lassie.
Okay.
So a theme you're gonna see with my team here is we're gonna be aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
and watching football with Lassie throughout these past couple years, he's always pulling for that fake punt, fake field goal, just wild and stuff. And I know that if I just give him the entire time, just think of whatever crazy schemes he can come up with, we're gonna have some Johnny Hecker style stuff going on.
That's fun.
That's my thought
I didn't know that
process.
he was so into the aggression for special teams. It's a good pick then. My pick, I'm going with Justin, because I don't know a man more passionate about kicking than Justin. He enjoys kicking field goals as like a hobby. He's a big advocate of punters. One of the people who advocates for punting in fantasy, counting for points and things such as that. So when we talk about punting and kicking, kickoffs, I feel like Justin's the man for my team.
Yeah, Justin obviously was in consideration for me, but like I said, I want to be aggressive, and Justin's maybe too pro kicking.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like he might give up on potential scoring opportunities of touchdowns and stuff in favor of punts and field goals.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, somehow I was just worried about
That's
him.
true. It might just be like third down and kind of long and be like, it's on the right hash. Might as well kick it at this point,
Also, Justin is famous for whenever someone misses a kick saying, "Oh my God, I could have made that field goal." So, don't want any wild cards of Justin putting himself in and just going out there to kick the field goal or
Yeah.
getting in his kicker's head.
Getting a little bit of an airball situation where there's no rules the kicking coach can't kick or something like that.
Yeah,
Anyways.
worried about that.
And I'll go up next here. We have our film analyst, somebody who's going to be working with the coaches and the GM to an extent, but someone who's going to spend a lot of time watching a lot of our own game film, practice film potentially. And my pick is, this is maybe the most obvious one of the entire list, is Greg. From what I hear, Greg watches a lot of TV, and so I'm going to put that talent to good use. And Greg, you're going to be our paid TV watcher.
All right, I'm going to be honest, that's a really excellent pick. I already had Greg in a different position before I picked my film analyst, so I didn't even think about that. But I went with Kaylee,
Okay.
purely for selfish reasons of thinking if she watches enough football as like a job, maybe she'll start enjoying it or at least understanding it better, so I can watch it with her outside of working.
I don't think Kaylee is going to last very long in that position. She might end up quitting. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. You might have to Clockwork Orange her or something.
Jeez, it's a little aggressive for just a film position.
Yeah.
All right. I got this next one.
Yeah. You have the next one.
The Get Back coach, made famous from that guy on the Rams who kept having to pull Sean McVay back, right? That's who you're talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Who was recently convicted for sexual assault.
Wait, really?
I'm pretty sure.
Whoa. Yeah. I did not hear that.
Like, they kept it under wraps until after the Super Bowl, which is why, there wasn't any stuff about him during the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Yeah. Unfortunate stuff going on.
Wow. Okay, well.
But not to put any shade on who I chose for this position, but that made me pick Nolan.
Okay.
Because Nolan, he's a long boy. You know what I'm talking about?
Long boy.
So he's got some reach there. So like, if our head coach that we'll get into
all right,
later,
let's not say he has some reach when talking about the position. All right.
yeah. So anyways, he'll be able to reach our head coach, make sure he doesn't get on that field, hit any refs.
Good pick. I have Nolan in a more appropriate position, I believe, later on. But my pick is actually someone already mentioned. I have Lassie here. Every time I visited Corvallis, whenever Lassie and Devin hang out, they're always like wrestling or doing something. Dude, Lassie can handle any man. If he can handle Devin, that's a strong boy right there. If he can handle Devin, he can handle anyone. I think Lassie's the man who's just, and he's also just someone I think I can just picture on my sideline, just getting hyped, but also being responsible enough to just grab the coach by his belt and pull him back.
The one worry I'd have with Lassie, because you have seen many of him and Devin's bouts.
Yes.
You don't want him just turning that into a power slam of your head coach right in the middle of the game, right?
That's true. Yeah, I didn't consider that one. Alrighty, and I have the next pickup here. My quarterback coach. In my quarterback coach, I actually have Kaylee right here at quarterback's coach from her, and it's solely from her excellent analysis the other week, saying that the Eagles should have kept Nick Foles and gotten rid of Carson Wentz. It's that kind of knowledge of the game that I need for my coaching staff.
Ah, I see. You want someone that thinks a little bit outside the box there.
I mean, we're picking a guy who's prone to injury, has had like a couple of good seasons, or we want the quarterback who had the single best performance by a quarterback in Super Bowl history. It's an obvious pick.
I can dig it. Kaylee might last a little bit longer there, you know, because she's not stuck in a room watching something she doesn't want to watch all day. I picked Jake Logan for this job.
Okay.
And when I said why I did this, I just wrote why not, because I really didn't have a place for Jake Logan, so this is just where he fell.
Ooh, I have a good place for him. We'll get to that.
All right, we'll see what you do. But
you're next up, though.
Yeah, next we got the jugs operator. The football slinging machines need someone to put the football in there.
Absolutely.
And I picked Mr. Alex McKnight.
Oh, okay.
To be in charge
I
of
thought
these.
about this, but I'll go ahead first.
All right, yeah, there wasn't, it's just a jugs operator. What could go wrong? So it's somewhere you could just stick Alex to where he wouldn't ruin your football team too much. And also, Alex is a bit of a wild card. So like maybe he'd accidentally push the jugs operator so it's shooting in a little bit different direction from what you're expecting. Just keep the players on their toes, make them react better. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a part of mine. I can't trust Alex to operate it. That's kind of what it came down to. I feel like he will find a way to mess it up. So instead, I chose Nolan for this one. If we're talking about a long boy, I mean, he's got to catch a lot of passes back from the people. I mean, like it's gonna go out to like re-get. So like when he shoots the ball out and then the receivers catch it, they run it back. They have to give it back to him. Not everyone, all those receivers have the most accurate arm. Nolan's gonna get that. Has that reach. Also, I think the jugs operator is just got to be a really likable guy. Nolan's a super personable guy. And just someone you want to like hang out, shoot the shit with, maybe throw some balls at some trash cans just for fun or whatever. I feel like Nolan's a great spot for that.
Subtle shade thrown to Alex there by Frankie. It's a little rough.
Not so subtle. Next up here, we have our lead scouting man, a lead scouting person, whatever you would call them. Our head scouts. We'll go with that. And for this one, I have Dylan in my scouting position. He was in consideration for a couple of different ones, but I thought this is one he is most appropriate for because Dylan still goes to watch high school football games and watches a lot of college and NFL, and he's watching football at every level. And I feel like that kind of understanding and being able to follow progression of players from the high school level to college to NFL, I think Dylan after years of doing this, will have a keen eye for talent. And we'll know where to find these talented players for my team.
That's a pretty good choice. Dylan's always one to be watching all the football he can. For my scouting head, I picked myself purely because of all the options here. It's probably what I'd want to do. And since I'm the one that gets to pick where people go, I'm just going to help myself out. Give myself leave scout.
That makes sense to me.
All right, and now press role is what we're doing next.
Yes.
Person that is going out there talking to the media a bunch, just being in charge, answering all their questions. Here, I'm pretty proud of my pick here. I picked Levi. Because, yeah. Well, the reason I was thinking of Levi, probably similar for you, is the press is the enemy here. We don't want them knowing anything. And Levi is the king of just taking a question and just giving the most nonsensical, snarky answer he possibly can. So not only will it give us some publicity there when the people in the media are just writing about all his crazy answers and all publicity is good publicity, we won't be spoiling anything to the other teams.
Yeah. Well, I will not agree with the statement that the press is our enemy. At least not on the team I'm creating. I have similar reasons for Levi. It's because Levi can be cut and dry, and also very funny, and it could be a good deflector. Pretty much I agree with all the reasons you just said. But also, I think when it comes down to like the serious stuff, like I don't know, like serious allegations against criminal allegations, as commonly happens with NFL players, or maybe a player has something tragic in their life. I feel like Levi can also be very heartfelt and can be very to the point and give a good statement to the press as well. I just think he's really well-rounded for that job.
Yeah, way to go, Levi. Public speaking.
Next up, we have social media manager, head of social media. For this pick, I picked Logan, mostly because I think he's probably the person who spends the most time on Twitter out of all of us. And that's like the lead social media platform of the NFL. I don't have a whole lot more justification for that one. But yeah, who did you have?
So you'd say Logan might spend the most time on Twitter, but I picked Dylan, who I think is definitely up there as well. Yeah,
one of the two, I think.
I don't want my team to be very politically charged because, we're going to be winning a lot of Super Bowls and we don't want to get the president mad at us. Or maybe we do. I don't know. But Dylan is a lot less likely to be, retweeting all this political stuff that no one really wants to care about and losing our team followers because social media is what powers our team. Uh-huh. And he also has a lot of experience just being on a team social media bandwagon kind of thing with the Blazers and all that. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like he's got the most experience and power there for our social media.
I guess a part of my thinking also is that I feel like Logan's more of a memer than Dylan, but maybe not. Maybe they're pretty equal in memey, and I think memes are the way to fans' hearts in the NFL right now, at least on social media. But that is a good point. I mean, I could very easily see him thinking that he's on his Logan account and actually signed into the team account and, retweeting something that politically charged. Yeah, I didn't consider that one. Yeah. I might have to reconsider.
Dylan definitely, I feel like, would be more experienced with sport-related memes, whereas Logan's probably a better all-around memer.
Yeah, all right.
All right, and now equipment specialist, just the person that's, carrying all the stuff, making sure it works well and they're taken care of pretty well. Yep. I picked Devin.
Oh.
I feel like this one's pretty obvious, actually, because of all the people, Devin definitely takes the best care of his things. Most of his phone chargers don't even have the plastic torn off of them yet. So everything's going to be kept super nice by Devin.
Yeah, Devin was my second pick for this one. I ultimately found a better spot for him, and at least in my eyes. But I have a good pick here, and I'm picking JP for this one. Because JP's been around in locker rooms. He played football through elementary school, middle school, high school. And he has a lot of experience moving heavy things with Amazon and UPS.
And the Gardener's Choice.
And the Gardener's Choice. I think he can be a pretty organized guy as well. And whenever we go camping, he always seems to just have random gadgets or trinkets or whatever. I think that's kind of what you need in an equipment guy who, at a moment's notice, maybe a running back or throws his helmet and has to be, re-screw the face mask back in on the sideline. I think JP can cover that.
All right, so 2 points here on the JP as equipment manager, one pro and one con.
Okay.
So our Christmas lights in our living room?
Yep.
Yesterday, JP spent an hour or two with his multimeter, which measures voltage, just with those Christmas lights, replacing bulbs, painstakingly, just single bulb at a time to try and make it work. So obviously that's something that'd be good for an equipment manager. Mm-hmm. However, I don't think it ended up actually being fixed. Something is just wrong with those Christmas lights. It's not JP's fault. So that's pro JP. anti-JP, I actually thought of another thing, so there's two. One is, I don't know if football players would necessarily have the most respect for their equipment. You know, like some of them definitely would, but I could see one or two people, like you said, smashing their helmet or something like that.
Yeah.
And you don't want your equipment manager to take away the helmet because they don't treat it well enough and just keep it in his room so no one else can use it.
Yeah.
And also, our router is currently in the living room, right?
Yep.
Okay, and quick tangent, just to keep everyone updated on what's going on at the Trap House. Greg, Devin, and I started playing Destiny a little bit.
Ooh,
But in order to do that, Greg needed an Ethernet cable for his PlayStation because he doesn't get good enough internet in his room. And obviously, he can't plug it into the wall because our router's in the living room. So he went out to buy a 50-foot Ethernet cable for his room, which, you know, he talked to it with the house beforehand. Everyone was fine with it except for Mr. JP. He is annoyed with how the Ethernet cables look going from the router up and down to the rooms, and he's concerned with like staples falling out from stapling it into the wall and people stepping on them. And he thought it was stupid because, you know, he's gonna move the router back to the downstairs eventually, so why pay the money for the Ethernet cable? Greg, however, went out and did this anyway, and I feel like if JP was equipment manager and his claim of moving the Ethernet or the router back down to the garage so everyone could have Ethernet was true, he would have done this by now because this was 3 or 4 days ago, and our router has no signs of moving. So we're going to be keeping watch on that as a household, just see what's going on. But I don't know if our equipment manager is the person that we want to, you know, not ever move the router when he says he will.
Alrighty. So that was a compelling argument.
That's a lot of analysis on a hypothetical placement of JP as an equipment manager.
Yes. Next up, we have the defensive coordinator. I believe I'm up next. As someone you've already mentioned, I have Jacob Logan as my defensive coordinator because if Jacob Logan is known for one thing, he is a man of disruption. A man of chaos and a man who will destroy things at a moment's notice. And that's what I need. I need penetrate. I need to see him destroy offensive lines. I need quarterbacks destroyed. I need offensive schemes blown up on a weekly basis. And Jake Logan is the guy for that.
Okay. Yes, Jake Logan is a master of destruction. But I feel like at least 50% of that is self-destruction. And I don't know if I can trust my defensive coordinator to be so willing to just sacrifice everything at the sake of himself. Frankie is dying over there.
That really got me. I don't have any defenses. I believe in you, Jake. Cam, go ahead.
Okay. I picked the other Jake. Jacob Pond for my defensive coordinator. Like you said, he has the most experience playing football. I don't know if Logan actually has more, but I'm pretty sure JP does.
I think me, Jake, and Logan are all probably tied because we all. I mean, I know JP and I played third grade through freshman year. So.
Okay. Yeah. So, but JP played primarily D-line, and I want my team to be pretty blitz heavy, like I said, aggressive. We kind of got away from the schematic choices, but we're back onto it. And so JP probably has the most experience with just blitzing and can coach our team up for that, which is why I picked him. And he was also one of our best D linemen on our flag football team.
Oh, there you go. Alrighty. I accept it was offensive coordinator, and so you got the first pick.
Yep. And you picked him as your very first choice for special teams, but I picked Justin as my offensive coordinator, purely from my experience in flag football, like I said, because our Philly special play, our trick play around the goal line, where Justin's quarterback pitches it to me and then runs out and I throw it to him, it actually worked really well. It had a 67% touchdown percentage, which is pretty good. And I just have confidence that he can keep coming up with cool plays like that. He was our quarterback, so we at least had to be competent with the offensive system. So I picked Justin.
Did you just give Justin credit for coming up with the Philly special? You just said like if he could continue to come up with plays. The Philly special was not invented by Justin.
Well, like it's not. We didn't exactly copy the Philly special. We just call it that because it's similar. Because like the Philly special, I'm pretty sure was a direct snap to the other or to like
direct
the running back or whatever.
Yeah, to the running back, and then a pitch to like a sweep or like a bootleg, I guess, and then the quarterback snuck out.
Yeah. Whereas us, it was snapped to the quarterback and he pitched it, and I faked running to the right when he snuck out to the left, and then I stopped and threw it to the left.
Yeah, a couple other teams did that. I think the Browns did that pretty early in the season last year too. They got like a lot of people have different variations of it. Yeah. No, that is a good thought for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I have offensive coordinator. I actually have you as my offensive coordinator. I had trouble placing you and myself in this list. I don't know why. Like particularly, but you end up falling here primarily because, from what I hear, you're the best Madden player at your house, and potentially even better in the friend group. Probably better, maybe better than Dylan. Probably better than Dylan. What do you say?
I mean, Dylan, you can always try and throw some hands at me, but I can take him any day of the week.
And I feel like when I did play Madden back in the day, it's pretty much like the real skill comes in how you can play your offense. And so, offensive coordinator, there you are, Cam.
I am excellent at finding the one play that the defensive AI doesn't know how to defend and just spamming that.
Yeah. And then there's also one other reason here, too. And so, as quarterback coach is generally like a stepping stone to offensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator is often a stepping stone to head coach. And I just have a feeling that maybe at some point you'd push my head coach out of the position. I just feel like that's something that would definitely happen because I have myself at head coach. It's my own team, and y'all can suck it. No, I found myself just kind of ended up in the head coaching job, and I have some justifications. I think I do have a pretty good ability to rally the troops, as seen through my. And like an appeal through both logic, which is really important in football, and also emotionally, as you can see from my various presentations about fantasy throughout the years and all the amendments I've wanted. I created a constitution for our fantasy league. So paperwork, I got that. Appeal to authority, I got that. I like to at least in my home life and a lot of people I am friends with. I tend to act as somewhat of a mediator. Like I can keep my head cool in adversity, and I have the will to win. It takes a lot to make me give up things, especially things that I really care about. So I can't see any reason why I wouldn't be the perfect head coach, Cam. But I do think at some point I've always had this feeling that if you, me, and Dylan were ever on like a CBS reality show, that you guys would always turn on me. I don't know why I've always felt that, but I think at some point, Cam, you're pushing me out of a head coaching job.
If we were on a reality show, I feel like yes, I would turn on you because I know Dylan definitely would.
Yes.
And like I feel like I'm more likely, or like I feel like it'd be safer to turn on you with Dylan than turn on Dylan with you, because you would have like 5 different plans going on for post this turn. Whereas Dylan's just thinking about that splash play of turning on Frank.
Yeah, I think it's like all the reasons why I would be head coach. Like, I love my people. Like we got Team Frankie, right? If you're on my team, we're a team. Like that's it. Like there's no big back trail. There's no none of that nonsense unless you're just like messing up on purpose. Like we're a team. We can do it. I don't know. Who do you have as your head coach?
My head coach is Tyler Walker.
Yeah, good pick.
Yeah, I feel like this one kind of self-explanatory. Tyler has the most football experience and the most experience being around like college football players, people that will actually go to the NFL. From everything I can tell, he's super well liked by like everyone, especially those football players. Yep. So it should do pretty well, like with the getting along with the team and everything. And definitely football smart and smart, good head coach.
Yeah, he was definitely in consideration for me. I have him as a different job, obviously. Only a couple of lefts, but you can probably figure it out seeing him. But you're up next. You have general manager.
Yeah, so general manager, if there's one thing I want with my general manager, I want him to be able to just swindle these football players for every dime they can handle and just keep us having as much money as we can so we can keep getting players. Maybe swindle other teams in trades like that. And there's no one I know that's better at that than Logan. The one fear I have here is just his talent evaluation maybe not being as good as it could because, we all saw fantasy stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we just got to hope that he can listen to his scouting department and other people like that and take their word for it. Because if we can just keep him focused on getting the players that we know are good and getting them as cheap and as ruthlessly as possible, he'll be an excellent GM.
Yeah, it's an interesting pick. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think we have the same concern about talent evaluation. I feel like Logan, a big part of being a GM is you want to have like really good relationships with all the rest of the GMs in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that some of the swindling may leave a bad taste in some of these GMs' mouths, and I don't know if I really want that from my GM.
Maybe too ruthless.
So, for my GM, I have Tyler Walker as my GM. For the reasons you said you had him as your head coach, was he has experience with U of O players, which means he has experience in the college department, which is very important for a general manager, and thinking about things like dealing with free agents and drafts, especially draft. Really smart guy, really nice guy, someone that people can rally around. The GM is typically like one of the bigger faces of an organization next to like head coach and then obviously the players. But in terms of like the coaching positions, it's usually like head coach and GMs are pretty big, and then like owner if you're like a big personality, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Tyler will be really good at like GM press conferences and meetings, and players will want to play for Tyler on Tyler's team, regardless of who the rest of the coaches are. So yeah, that's why I picked him for my general manager.
All right. Yeah, pretty similar.
And then the final position we have here is the owner of the team. I guess you could say CEO as well, but owner of the team is the big ones. Your Jerry Jones, your Art Rooney, the big guys. I have mine as Devin for a few reasons here. Now, Devin is the NFL is a business. Teams are a business. Devin in the business school. Bang. All right. Next, Devin sticks with his guys. We've seen him play fantasy. He only picked Eagles players. Devin is ride or die for his team. That's what you need from an owner. You don't need anyone who's wishy-washy. He is a strong. He will strongly be with our players until they suck, and then you get rid of them. And that's also good. You need to be with your players, but also realize that at the end of the day, it is a business, and the business of winning. And third, diversity matters. He'd be the third person of color who's an owner in the league. That'd be cool. Anyways, those are my reasons for Devin as my owner.
One problem I have with Devin as the owner is Devin is famously I don't know, frugal, possibly, and I just want an owner that's willing to throw money for this team and just do whatever he can to make us win, but not get in there and mess everything up, I could see Devin maybe trying to steer the team a little bit, which I think is, just killer for a team. So I picked Greg.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I know Greg is just going to let this operation work how it goes, not going to think like, oh, I'm going to go tell Tyler what to do with his football team, because Greg trusts Tyler. And that's why I picked Greg.
Well, what's that old saying? Absolute power corrupts absolutely, or something like that.
Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah, there it is. Greg, I can very much see becoming the next Jerry Jones of the league, where, for most drafts, when they like go to like, when they're like during the NFL draft and they're like go to different teams like war rooms or whatever they call it, stupid thing.
Yeah.
And most of them it's just the GM, the head coach, and like the scouting guys. That's pretty much it. Sometimes the owner's not even there. Like the Rooneys are hardly ever even there for the Steelers. Greg, though, I mean, if you've seen the Cowboys war room, it's like a, I don't even know what you call that kind of table. It's like a rectangle table, basically. Like there's like two long sides on the head of the table.
Like a boardroom table?
Yeah, actually but it's like three segmented. It's very, very extra. But at the head of that table is old Jerry and his throne. And I can just totally see Greg sipping a whiskey, just legs crossed, a cigar in his hand, just ready to take over the league. But also maybe meddle with it too much. I don't know. You have concerns about Devin meddling. I have concerns about with Greg meddling.
All right, let me assuage those concerns based on some of our prior experience with Greg. I want you to picture yourself back at the gardener's choice.
Oh, okay. This is Are you my therapist or what's happening here?
It's approximately 1 o'clock in the
Okay.
afternoon. You have not eaten lunch yet. And you go to Greg, a known lieutenant to Stephen Bates, so he has some power here. And you say, "Hey, Greg, should I eat lunch now?" Greg is famous for not telling you what to do with your lunch. And I just feel like, maybe power could corrupt him, but maybe it's just good old Greg who's just like, do whatever you want. Ask someone else. That's what I'm hoping for.
I want leadership. Devin is a leader. Greg, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I want my leadership to be a football person like Logan. That's what I'm focused on.
All right. So let's run down the rosters real quick. I'll start with mine. We'll go top to bottom here. My owner is Devin. My general manager is Tyler. I am the head coach. Cam is my OC. Jake is my DC. Equipment manager is Jacob Pond. Social media. Head social media will be Logan. My press guy is Levi. My head scout is Dylan. The jugs operator, maybe the most important position of all, Nolan Good. Keep it coach, Kaylee. Get back coach, Lassie. Film analyst, professional TV watcher, Greg. And special teams coach, Justin Moss.
Wait, so who didn't make your team? Because there's one person that fell off.
Someone didn't make my team. I didn't even realize that. Who didn't make my team? Alex didn't make my team. Oh my god, I forgot about Alex.
Oof, that's rough. Alex is a key member of my team.
I gotta make up a rule for Alex. Hold on.
All right, while you're thinking about that, I'll run down my
ahead.
team. With the owner of Mr. Greg Bates, Logan Roth as general manager, Tyler Walker, head coach, Justin Moss, offensive coordinator, JP, defensive coordinator, Devin managing the equipment, Dylan managing the social media, Levi managing the press, Cam in charge of scouting, Alex operating the jugs, Jake Logan coaching the quarterbacks, Nolan pulling Tyler Walker back when he needs to, Kaylee analyzing film, and Lassie working special teams.
Who's left then for you?
I'm surprised you didn't realize that you, Mr. Frankie Redford, did not make my team.
Wow, that's hurtful.
Because you are obviously there in charge of a different team, and I can't have rivals and enemies on this team, sir.
That's hurtful. I don't appreciate that. I put you on my team and everything. All right, anyways, I thought of the perfect position for Alex. Cam, when you think of Alex, what's the first word that comes to your mind?
Uncoordinated?
No, swole. Thank you, Cam. He's our strength coach. Alex Manette is our strength coach. Thank you.
Has Alex stepped foot in a gym?
Does experience not needed? We'll
All right.
wing it.
Well, I guess my team is going to be just running the entire practice because now you are my strength coach as well.
Cardio specialist.
Yeah, not gonna get tired. That's for sure.
No, our VO2 is gonna be amazing. Alrighty, and that's everything.
What's your team gonna be called?
So the name I decided on for my team is we're going to be the Portland Pipers. Eh?
Like the Pied Pipers?
No, like I mean like a bagpipe player or
like
someone who works with pipes.
Fawn?
Either one. Got the inspiration from the original name of Pittsburgh's American Basketball Association team, which was known as the Pittsburgh Condors. They're originally the Pittsburgh Pipers. The Portland Pipers will continue that legacy. Will hold the torch for a new generation.
That's all right, I guess. I thought picking Portland was a little on the nose for my team. So I went a different route on a different area I think needs an NFL franchise.
Okay.
So I picked the Honolulu Sea Turtles.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're hosting the Pro Bowl at your stadium every year now?
Obviously, because that's the most important game of the year, Frankie. God. But just like Sea Turtles, we are impenetrable and vicious.
All right, there we have it. Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Big Cam Offseason Podcast. I've been Frankie.
This is Cam over here.
And we will catch you all next week, inching closer to the NFL Draft and to Avengers Endgame. Maybe the topic next week will have to do with one of the two. Maybe, probably. I don't know.
Have a good WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, that too.